Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
A funny Friday here with episodes of The Fred Allen Show, Take It or Leave It, starring Bill Baker with a very special contestant, also Fibber McGee and Molly, and Claudia. That's all straight ahead on this Friday. This is the 8th day of November, 313th day of the year, 53 days left. Presidential elections on this date. 1864, Abraham Lincoln re-elected in an overwhelming victory over George McClellan. 1892, Grover Cleveland elected over Benjamin Harrison and James B. Weber to win the second of his non-consecutive terms. In 1932, Franklin Roosevelt defeated incumbent Herbert Hoover in a landslide victory in 1932.
It looks, my friends, like a real landslide this time.
In 1960, John Kennedy elected over Richard Nixon in becoming the youngest man ever elected to office.
To all citizens of this country, Democrats, Independents, Republicans, regardless of how they may have voted, that it is a satisfying moment to me, and I want to express my appreciation to all of them and to Mr. Nixon personally. The next 4 years are going to be difficult and challenging years for us all. The election may have been a close one, but I think that there is general agreement by all of our citizens that a supreme national effort will be needed in the years ahead to move this country safely through the 1960s. So now my wife and I prepare for a new administration and for a new baby.
In 1988, George Herbert Walker Bush elected over Michael Dukakis.
When I said I want a kinder, gentler nation, I meant it, and I mean it.
And in 2016, Donald Trump elected as the 45th president.
I promise you that I will not let you down. We will do a great job. We will do a great job.
Also on this date in history, in 1889, Montana admitted as the 41st state of the Union. The Bronx Zoo opened on this date in 1899. In 1933, President Roosevelt unveiled the Civil Works Administration, an organization designed to create jobs for more than 4 million unemployed. 1965, Days of Our Lives debuted on NBC.
Like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives. Days of Our Lives, a new dramatic serial starring MacDonald Carey.
For almost 3 decades, MacDonald Carey, the central cast member of the show, he passed away of lung cancer in 1994. And for years thereafter, Carey's voice opened the program with those words, like sands through the hourglass, these are the days of our lives. 1966, former Massachusetts Attorney General Edward Brooke became the first African-American elected to the Senate. 1966, President Johnson signed a law giving an antitrust exemption for the National Football League to merge with the American Football League. 1971, the fourth album of Britain's rock group Led Zeppelin, Led Zeppelin 4, released, including one of the group's most well-known songs, Stairway to Heaven. 1973, the right ear of John Paul Getty III delivered to a newspaper, together with a ransom note convincing his father to pay $2.9 million in ransom. That'd be over $20 million today. ABC premiered a late-night news show on this date in 1979, America Held Hostage, updating the audience on the latest on the Americans held hostage in Iran. The show evolved into Nightline.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if someone could explain all those complicated Wall Street terms that the experts are always tossing around so we could all understand?
Yeah. So if you can't tell a put from a call, or if you're having trouble with your liquidity, join us tonight on Nightline.
We'll have some other experts, too.
World News Tonight anchor Frank Reynolds originally hosted the show. Ted Koppel then would take over hosting duties. He would host the show until November 2005, after 25 years as anchor of the show and 42 years with the network. In 1991, Marion Barry re-elected mayor of Washington, D.C. 1994, for the first time in 40 years, the Republican Party took control of both the House and the Senate in midterm congressional elections. 1999, Bruce Miller killed at his junkyard near Flint, Michigan. His wife, Cherie Miller, who convinced her online lover, Jerry Cassidy, to kill him before later killing himself, convicted of the crime in what became the world's first internet murder. In 2004, more than 10,000 U.S. troops and a small number of Iraqi army units participated in a siege on the insurgent stronghold of Fallujah. And in 2013, Typhoon Haiyan, one of the strongest tropical cyclones ever recorded, struck the Visayas region of the Philippines. The storm left at least 6,300 people dead, over 1,000 still missing, causing $2.86 billion in damages, and this person survived.
My mother and my younger sister were holding on to a refrigerator, floating around in muck for 45 minutes. They put the young children inside the refrigerator.
The number 6,300, I believe, is low. I believe it did get to 5 figures because people quit trying to answer the questions. Passing away on this date in history, Doc Holliday, Dorothy Kilgallen, actor-politician Wendell Corey, singer-songwriter Ivory Jo Hunter, Norman Rockwell, family circus creator Bill Keane, his son carries on the cartoon, and game show host Alec Trebek, all passing away on this date in history. Birthdays on this date include Patty Page.
How much is that dog in the window? The one with the waggly tail. How much is that doggy in the window? I do hope that doggy's for sale. I must take a trip to California and leave my poor sweetheart alone. If he has a dog, he won't be lonesome, and the doggy will have a good home.
Arf, Patty Page, born on this date. Also game manufacturer Milton Bradley, actress Esther Roll, South African heart surgeon Christian Barnard, actor Joe Flynn, best known for his role in McHale's Navy. Also actress Darla Hood of not the Three Stooges, the Our Gang comedies. Also journalist Morley Saper and singer Minnie Riperton, all born on this date in history.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
I Can't Make You Love Me. Bonnie Raitt, 75 years old today.
1977.
I'm a-walking in the rain to the boat I've been afraid, wishing you were here by me to end this misery, and I
Cover of the Del Shannon hit Runaway, Bonnie Raitt, 75 today. From Hill Street Blues and St. Elsewhere, Alfre Woodard is 72. The lady who sang about Chucky's in Love, Ricky Lee Jones, 70 today. Teen Idol Leif Garrett is 63. Chef Gordon Ramsay is 58.
Right, cooking the scallops. Make sure that pan is piping hot. Now, quail's eggs. Take the knife, gently break, use the tip, and in we go.
Gordon Ramsay, 58 today. From Melrose Place and Ally McBeal, Courtney Thorne-Smith is 57. Also from Marriage Boot Camp and Sharknado, Tara Reid, 49. Percy Weasley and Harry Potter, Chris Rankin is 42.
Keep an eye on the staircases. They like to change.
Chris Rankin, 42 years old today. And Jack Osborne, Sharon and Ozzy's son, 39 years old today. Those just a few of the people who celebrate the 8th day of November as their birthday. If this is your birthday,
we baked you a birthday cake. If you get a tummy ache and you moan and groan and woe, don't forget we told you so. Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
Make a wish, dear, and blow out the candles.
Here they go.
Fred Allen up next here with an episode of the Fred Allen Show from 85 years ago, November 8, 1939, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
There is a defense against radioactive fallout. During enemy attack, get to a shelter immediately. Stay there until local officials advise you it's safe to leave. Be prepared.
And here we go with Fred Allen, going back 85 years, November 8th, 1939. And the only reason why I don't think Fred is more appreciated is he was so topical in his humor. And that's a lot of it. But that's just my thoughts. Let's listen to Fred.
The Fred Allen Show. Brought to you by Panna Toothpaste for the smile of beauty, Sal Hepatica for the smile of health. An hour of smiles with Fred Allen, folks. 3,600 seconds of fun and music. Fun with our star comedian, Fred Allen. With our guest star, the mastermind of the doughnut industry. Music with Peter Van Steeden, the Merrimacs, and Win Murray. The time has come. It's the Fred Allen Show. Now the lights are dim, the curtain rises. Overture, it's 100 to 1. Ladies and gentlemen, as the evening sun, a fiery orb, sinks slowly into the golden west, we turn with regret from the end of a perfect day to face the hectic hour we know is to come. And so we say aloha to peace and contentment, and helloa to Fred Allen in person.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Say, what sort of an introduction was that, Harry? I happened to hear it. You know, my ears have been fixed.
Yes.
The sun, that fiery orb, aloha, helloa, what was...
Well, I'm sorry, Fred.
You sounded like James Fitzpatrick checking out of Tahiti with one of his travelogues.
I know. I just forgot myself, Fred. I've been working on my other job all afternoon.
What am I? Am I getting to be a sideline with you or something?
Well...
Everyone should have a sideline, but picking on me. But what other job is this?
Oh, well, I thought you knew about that.
No, nobody
tells
tells
me. Well, I'm announcing for the Pathé News now.
Well, that's certainly news to me. Have you got your picture stuck up on the corner of the screen like Lou Lair has?
Oh, no. No, I don't appear on the screen, Fred. I'm just a disembodied voice.
Disembodied.
Yeah.
Have you hung your head lately, Harry?
Not since last week's program, no.
Well, the next time you hang your head, look down. Disembodied.
Oh.
Why, you look as though you had just bolted the perisphere.
Oh, this. Well, all right, I am getting a slight abdominal puff.
A slight abdominal puff. If that bulge gets any bigger, Harry, you'll have to sew a snood on the front of your shirt. And while you're looking around for a needle and thread, we say aloha to your paunch, and I hope it doesn't answer, and helloa to the news of the week. Peter, the Ipana Newsreel presents Your News Cavalcade. Brooklyn, New York. Appellate Division in Brooklyn Court rules that any pedestrian crossing thoroughfare with traffic lights in his favor has the right of way until he reaches the other side, even though said lights change color while said pedestrian is in the middle of said thoroughfare. Ipana News interviews man in the street to get his reaction to this recent legal ruling. Mr. Truman Wassop, a former resident of Jackson Heights, says,
"This pedestrian's victory come too late for me.
Oh, you are a traffic light victim, Mr. Wassop?
I ain't seen me wife and kiddies for 2 years.
Really? Well, what happened?
Well, on the night of November 8, 1937, I'm starting home from work there to Jackson Heights.
Yes?
I'm standing on the curb at 42nd Street. My body is poised, my eyes is agleam, every sense is alert, my sinews is tensed like a startled fawn.
Well, why?
I'm waiting for the lights to change.
You were on the qui-vive.
No, on the corner of 42nd Street.
Oh, I see.
Snap! The light goes green. I'm off. I get to the middle of the street. Snap! The light goes red.
Yes?
Traffic is on me with a mighty roar.
What did you do?
Well, I look to the right, a taxi. I look to the left, a bus. To the east, a motorcycle. To the west, a truck.
Gad, what a dilemma.
Yeah. I look down, and there is an open manhole. It's my only hope.
You dove down into that open manhole 2 years ago.
And I've been living there ever since. I can't get out.
Why not?
Well, every time I stick my head up out of the manhole...
Yes?
The kids in the block start a soccer game.
I was wondering what you were doing with 3 foreheads.
Yeah. Yeah, the contusions on me head has got contusions on them.
Well, condolences and thank you.
Hey, if you're ever passing that open manhole on 42nd Street, drop in.
I sure will. And sorry I brought you up just for that, Mr. Wassop. And thank you. A drugstore employee who welcomes the new pedestrian ruling is Mrs. Lovey Tannenbaum.
The Lovey you are spelling with twice E.
Oh. L-O-B-E-E.
Also, the last T shall be with a capital.
A capital at the end.
Tannenbaum you are making with a hyphen.
Well, I've never heard of a hyphen in Tannenbaum.
Well, confidentially, when we are living downtown, Tannenbaum, one word is all together. Oh. Now we are living uptown, we are making with a hyphen.
Oh, I see.
Upstairs is living Mrs. Goldberg. Goldberg, she's making with a semicolon.
A semicolon. Well, fine. Now that we've disposed of the neighborhood, what about this new traffic ruling?
For the pedestrian, which I happen to be, it is meaning happy days, but positively.
Do you have occasion to cross the street a lot, Mrs. Tannenbaum?
Once a day for 6 years, I am crossing 38th Street incessantly.
You crossed 38th Street once a day.
At 5 o'clock to the dottle.
To the dottle. Well, why?
Well, in my present capacity, I happen to be cashier at Pincus People's Pharmacy. It's a drugstore.
Well, I wouldn't have known otherwise. I'm fortunate you mentioned it.
Across the street, but diagonal, is Berkovich, a dress shop.
Diagonal, I get your slant.
Every day before closing time, Bykovich is looking on the cash register, and Bykovich is saying, I got a headache. So I am coming across the street diagonal with aspirin.
And for 6 years, you have never had any difficulty crossing the street with your aspirin?
Once only. But with quick wit, I am muddling through to Bykovich.
Well, when did this happen?
On March 17th, it's St. Patrick's Day. The street is packed. I'm looking at a parade with traffic.
Yes?
Bykovich is there with a headache. I am here with the aspirin. And between Bykovich and the aspirin is going up and down the St. Patrick's Parade.
A predicament. Well, how did you cross the street?
How is asking? Like a flash, I am joining the ancient order of Hibernians.
Yes?
The Hibernians in a jiffy is putting me in the parade.
Yes?
And I am marching across the street to Bykovich diagonal with the aspirin.
Some strategy. And you are still a member of the ancient order.
I'm a wild Irish rose.
Well, you sure are incognito tonight. And thank you, Mrs. Lovey Tannenbaum. Another pedestrian who isn't bothered by the court's decision, Mr. Prentice Wetty.
Traffic lights ain't no skin off of my nose.
Have you a word of advice to offer pedestrians, Mr. Wetty?
Anybody that gets caught when the lights change has got to work out their own problem.
You don't feel for the other fellow.
It ain't no skin off of my nose.
I've
been caught in the middle of the street millions of times. It ain't no skin off of my nose.
No, I can see that.
I've stood out there with taxis and trucks brushing me so close you couldn't tell their chassis from mine. I kept me head.
But thousands of other pedestrians have been hurt.
It ain't no skin off of my nose.
Well, naturally.
I was out there this morning. Cars whizzing by me. One fender took off the seat of me pants.
I know. It wasn't any skin off of your nose. Well, happy healing, and thank you, Mr. Prentice Wetty. To have the pedestrians' rights clearly understood, Ipana News asks Judge Molly Spratt to define the recent legal ruling. Judge Spratt.
Where a prima facie case has not been nisi prius, the pedestrian status in crossing the highway is volenti non fit in jury. In other words, non-feasance in transit is de mortuis or vol vistu gaily star.
In your judicial opinion, Judge?
There is but one way to solve our present problem. Traffic regimentation.
Traffic regimentation?
Exactly.
Well, how would that work?
Mondays, all traffic will go east.
Yes?
Tuesdays, all traffic will go west.
Yes?
Wednesdays, east. Thursdays, west. Fridays,
well, what
east.
about the
Saturdays,
north and south?
Sunday.
What about...
What?
I said, what about the north and south?
Well, their differences were settled in the Civil War.
Thank you. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Wynne Murray sings for us, I Didn't Know What Time It Was.
Till I met you. Oh, what a lovely time it was. How sublime it was, too. Once I was young, yesterday perhaps, danced with Jim and Paul and kissed some other chaps. Once I was young, but never was naive. Thought I had a trick or two up my imaginary sleeve. But now I know I was naive. I didn't know what time it was till I met you. Oh, what a lovely time it was. how sublime it was too. I didn't know what day it was. You held my hand, warm like the month of May it was, and I'll say it was grand. Grand to be alive, to be young, to be mad, to be yours alone. Grand to see your face, feel your touch, hear your voice, say I'm all your own. I didn't know what year it was. Life was no prize. I wanted love, and here it was, shining out of your eyes. I'm wise, and I know what time it is now.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to call your attention, one very particular item on our agenda.
Fred, what's an agenda?
Well, Harry, I was under the impression that education was practically compulsory in these United States.
I know, Fred, but I must have missed that one.
Well, Harry, agenda means items that must be brought to people's attention, things that must be attended to.
Oh, well, now I get it. Tender gums and dingy teeth.
How is that again?
Well, those are things to be brought to people's attention, and they're certainly things that must be attended to.
Say, I think you've got something there, Harry.
Yes, I have, Fred. And it's something for those dingy teeth and tender gums. Ipana toothpaste and massage. An easy, modern help to a far more attractive smile. You see, ladies and gentlemen, your smile seldom reveals teeth that are bright and sparkling when your gums are tender and soft. And today's creamy, well-cooked foods tend to deprive your gums of the vigorous chewing they need for health. That's why they often grow flabby and weak and flash that warning signal of pink toothbrush. When you see that, by all means, see your dentist. You may not be in for serious trouble, but let him decide. Usually, his verdict will be,
your gums have grown lazy from lack of exercise. They need more stimulation to keep them firm and healthy.
And very often, as so many dentists do, he will add,
your gums will respond to the healthful stimulation of Ipana toothpaste and massage.
So adopt this modern dental health routine. Massage with Ipana. Help to keep your teeth brighter, your gums firmer, and your smile one of winning charm. Get an economical tube of Ipana at your druggist's tomorrow.
Peter Van Steeden and his Melody Madcaps have just played exactly like you, if you happen to be a little off-key. And now, ladies and gentlemen...
Hello.
Oh, hello, Portland. Say, what is this with you? You're late again tonight.
I'm sorry. Mama and I went to the antique show.
Why don't you tell somebody? Say, what's new at the antique show?
Nothing's new. Antique means old. It comes from the Latin. Antica, Anticus antiquum.
Well, that sounds like a Latin parley to me. Say, how did you come by this extraneous chit-chat or knowledge?
I heard it on information plays.
No kidding.
Uh-huh. Did you know the seventh note in Rubinstein's melody in F is...
That is the seventh note in Rubinstein. Well, Rubinstein will be surprised to hear that. I know it and you know it, but Rubinstein, wait till he finds it out.
Did you know that the first donut was made in America in 1739?
Say, is that more information, please, Data?
No. Our guest star told me that.
Oh, our guest star tonight is an authority on donuts?
Yes, Mr. Allen. And I want you to meet the Will Hayes of the donut industry, Mr. Alfred L. Plant.
Well, good evening, Mr. Plant.
Good evening, Fred.
Portland refers to you as the Will Hayes of the donut domain. Is that your official title?
Well, not exactly, Fred. Actually, I'm in charge of merchandising research for the donut industry.
Your job is to step up business by checking on the sales technique of donut bakers around the country.
Exactly. I travel from Massachusetts to Miami, interviewing salesmen, grocers, and housewives.
Well, how is your consumer demand holding up these days?
Well, very well, Fred. In New York City alone, 80,000 dozen donuts are eaten every day.
80,000 dozen? Why, that's almost 1 million donuts a day. Say, if all of the fat that is used to fry those donuts was put into one lump, you couldn't tell it from a certain radio comedian's head, Mr. Plant. How Benny gets what little hair he has, how he gets that little bit of tuft of hair to grow in fat is too much for me. Say, how many of your little fried halos were sold in this country last year?
$78 million worth, Fred.
78? Say, there's plenty of dough in the donut, isn't there? Is the russet bagel a product? Is the russet bagel a product of modern civilization?
Oh, no, Fred. Donuts go way back. They're even mentioned in the Bible.
Really? I haven't been in a hotel room for so long.
Well, in Leviticus, there is a passage about a round cake fried in oil with a nut in the center.
Well, what was the purpose of the nut?
Well, that was to keep the center from being soggy and underdone.
Oh, I see. And then some fresh air fiend begat the idea of removing the nut and giving vagrant pastry zephyrs the right of way.
Exactly.
Well, that's news to me. You know that I always thought the hole was added so that people with buck teeth could get a grip on the donut.
No. That's a false rumor that was started some years ago.
It was, excuse me?
That's just a false rumor, Fred.
That started some years ago. I hope you nipped it in the batter before it got too far.
We did.
You know, a certain byproduct of your craft has always worried me, Mr. Plant. It is, to name it, the jelly donut.
Well, what's your problem, Fred?
Now, how is a jelly donut assembled? Do they jack up a little blob of jelly and build a donut around it? Or do they just fry a ball of dough and give it a jelly transfusion later?
No, I'm sorry, Fred. I can't tell you that. You know, it's a trade secret.
Oh, a trade. I wouldn't expect you to divulge it in public, Mr. Plant. A soggy faux pas, excuse me. But getting back to the regular or the Mayflower donut, as we know it around here, it's made by machinery, isn't it?
Yes, Fred. Why, some of our larger machines will turn out 400 dozen donuts an hour.
4,800 donuts an hour. Well, do all of the donuts have a uniform size?
Yes, the standard Mayflower model measures 3 inches in diameter. The hole is 3/4 of an inch across.
Well, is the industry contemplating any changes in the standard size?
Well, they are. Next year, we're going to put out a slightly larger donut. The diameter will be 3.5 inches.
And the hole will be larger?
Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, the hole will measure a full inch next year.
Well, is there any particular reason for this radical change, Mr. Plant?
Well, yes, there is, Fred. After many surveys, I find that for the same money, we can give the public more donuts.
And more whole as well. That brings us to the one question you, as a donut authority, Mr. Plant, should certainly be able to answer. Is it proper to dunk?
Oh, yes, it certainly is, Fred. Why, haven't you heard of the NDA?
NDA? Well, what is the NDA?
Why, the National Dunking Association.
Really?
Yep, we have 350,000 members listed, including male LaGuardia.
That would be 350,001, wouldn't it?
That's
Well,
right.
I didn't know. Well, you can tell me then, Mr. Plant, which dunking technique does the NDA favor? The huckster's plunge? That wholly submerges the metacarpus? Or the debutante's dip that merely sprays the cuticle?
Well, personally, Fred, I prefer my own method. It's simple, but it's effective.
Well, what is the Plant method? How do you dunk, Mr. Plant?
Well, first I take a sip or two of my coffee.
That would be to prevent any slopping over.
Exactly. Then I break my donut in half. You see, breaking assures a jagged end.
Oh, of course. The jagged end being more porous gives you super suction, as it were.
Correct. But then I immerse my donut, penetrating the coffee to a 1-inch depth.
Now, just 2-inch depth? You're ever so frugal and prudent, aren't you? Now, what about your dunking grip?
Well, my fingers are arched and spread slightly to avoid any caffeine contact.
Ah, the master touch. But how do you remove your dank tidbit from the cup? How do you avoid the seepage, that Maxwell House lavalier about the shirt front? See on the novice.
That's not so hard. You see, I just wobble my donut about.
Yes?
And this drains off the surplus coffee right back into the cup.
And then a hole-in-one, unless you've got a beard and divot trouble. And the dunking operation is consummated.
That's all there is to it, Fred.
Fine. That is your technique. Have you ever heard of my dunking method? The good old horn and hard at plop?
The horn and hard at plop?
Yes. I'll tell you how it operates. When no one is looking, 2 donuts are plopped into the cup of coffee surreptitiously. After the donuts sink gently to the bottom and absorption is consummated, the dank hulk is eaten with a knife and fork.
That's definitely bad form, Fred.
Ah, but it's definitely good taste, Mr. Plant. Well, thank you a lot for this instructive little discourse.
It's really been a pleasure to be here.
You had to make up your mind on that. Yes, anyone who's ever been here, Mr. Plant, has to mull it over before they decide whether it's been a pleasure or not. Well, I'm going to tell you, to show you my appreciation, I am going to have Harry's Trio sing you a dunking farewell. All right, boys.
Dunks for the memory, a donut in your cup to slop your coffee up. Dunks
to the patter of these singing drips, we bid our guest of the evening aloha.
Good night, Fred.
Good night, and thank you, Mr. Alfred Plant.
So dunk you so much.
Thank you. And now the Merrimacs hurriedly assemble to sing for us, to take the curse off of that singing you just heard, Vol Vistu Gaily Star.
Vol Vistu Gaily Star, Vol Vistu Gaily Star, Vol Vistu Gaily Star, Lambelo. Vol Vistu Gaily Star, I found my lucky star. Vol Vistu Gaily Star, Lambelo. I told my lucky star, Vol Vistu Gaily Star, Vol Vistu Gaily Star, Lambelo. Manya, 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 me, manya, 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 si, manya, manya. just like an angel with a golden halo. Manya, 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 see. Manya means good luck for me. Manya, manya, lambelo. Love is the Gaily Star. Love is the Gaily Star.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, ever since the trend toward quizzing began, a sure way to be the life of any party is to have on hand a few startling facts. Then you can toss them into the conversational hurly-burly whenever you get a chance. For instance, did you know that if a flea was as big as a man, he could jump half a mile?
Oh. Well, I don't think that is particularly startling, Fred.
You're rather blasé, aren't you, Herschel? What is your idea of a startling fact?
Well, something like this. Did you know that 8 out of 10 people in the United States do not take proper and sufficient care of their teeth and gums? And, ladies and gentlemen, that is one big fans. We constantly remind you to see your dentist regularly and to faithfully care for your teeth and gums by using iPana toothpaste and massage. Now, that's a simple but important routine you should always follow, and for this reason.
Teeth are seldom bright and lustrous when gums are tender and soft. And today's soft foods deny your gums the stimulation and exercise that come from vigorous chewing. As a result, they often become tender and more susceptible to gum trouble.
Fortunately, you can help supply that needed stimulation with iPana and massage. So every time you brush your teeth, put a little extra iPana on your brush or fingertip and massage your gums with it. It will help your gums grow stronger, more resistant, your mouth healthier, and your teeth cleaner and brighter. And since that naturally increases the attractiveness of your smile, you can see it will certainly pay you to say to your druggist tomorrow, a tube of iPana, please. Ladies and gentlemen, the Fred Allen Show will continue after a short pause for your station identification.
And from 85 years ago, November 8, 1939, The Fred Allen Show, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. The conclusion next.
There are 2 air raid warning signals. A steady blast of 3 to 5 minutes means attack is probable. A wavering tone or series of short blasts means take cover.
Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox continues now with the conclusion of The Fred Allen Show from 85 years ago, November 8, 1939.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the question of the week. This is Mr. and Mrs. Average Man's Round Table, where 3 persons selected from our studio audience are invited to give their opinions on one question that concerns a prominent issue of the day. These sessions are absolutely unrehearsed. Fred is sitting down now at the table where he meets his fellow debaters for the first time. Are you ready, Fred?
Yes, I am, Harry. We're all ready. And before I announce the question of the week to my committee, I think it's only fitting and proper that I meet the committee. Don't you, Portland?
Yes, I think so.
Well, who is our first member tonight?
First is Mr. Lou Lazarus, a builder from Jamaica, Long Island.
Well, good evening, Mr. Lazarus.
Good evening, Mr. Allen.
Is your home in Jamaica, is it?
Yes, it is.
Jamaica? Jamaica is the gateway to Long Island, in the manner of saying, isn't it? It's built up quite a lot lately, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
I can remember years ago when you could find a place to park in Jamaica. We used to work out there a good many years ago. But you are in the real estate business, are you?
Yes, I am.
Well, I'd like to ask you, what is your conception of the soundest type of investment a person can make in the real estate line at the moment?
Well, I think a family, for a person who invests in a home, is the safest investment today.
Oh, you mean for a fellow who wants to live in the house himself?
Oh, yes.
Well, thank you very much. I haven't gotten to that point yet, but eventually I'll get thrown out of Radio City. I'll have to live someplace. Of course, in radio, we practically live in here all the time. Well, thank you a lot, Mr. Lazarus. And who's next, Portland?
Mrs. Margaret Saz from North Hollywood, California.
Well, good evening, Mrs. Saz.
Good evening, Mr. Allen.
You're from North Hollywood, California? You're not you're not a fugitive from the ham and egg plan, are you? What are you, may I ask what you're doing here in New York?
I came on a vacation to visit my family.
Oh, on a vacation. Is this your first trip here?
It's my first trip in 2 years.
Oh, you've been here before?
I lived here all my life.
Oh, did you really? Well, not all your life. You mean up to now?
Well, all of my life in California.
Just because you went to Hollywood, you didn't die, I mean. But I guess you noticed quite a few changes in New York since you've been away.
The only thing I've noticed is 6th Avenue L, the lack of it, I should say.
Oh, it's gone. Well, there are quite a few changes along Broadway. There's a new pineapple hanging up in front of Sloppy Joe. The barker in front of that burlesque theater is much hoarser than he was 2 years ago. Have you noticed all of the new trees on Fifth Avenue given by Major Bowes and Mr. Rockefeller?
No, I don't think I've noticed them. I haven't expected them.
Oh, haven't you noticed the trees?
No.
Oh, there are a million. There are so many trees on Fifth Avenue now. I hear some of the office buildings have signs in them now. Do not throw lighted cigarettes out the window. You may start a forest fire. Well, thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Saz. And our next member.
Mr. Bob Walters from Newark, New Jersey.
Well, good evening, Mr. Walters.
Good evening, Mr. Allen.
May I ask your profession?
Why, I'm a gag man.
A radio gag man?
Yes.
Oh, you don't write serious things. You just write comedy material, huh?
Yes, I do.
Of course, a great many of the comedy routines turn out to be serious when you get them on the air. You haven't got a joke offhand you'd like to tell?
I got one, yeah.
I mean, for nothing?
Yeah.
You won't put any... You won't send the bill around here later?
No.
Is it a good joke?
It's a good joke.
All right. You want to tell it?
Yeah.
All right. Is it all?
Yeah, it's a good joke.
Well, I tell you what we do. We'll get on with... How am I doing for time, Jim? Have I got time? Okay. All right, Mr. Walters. Just want to make sure.
2 fleas retired and bought a dog.
Well, I know. I heard a joke about two Scotch fleas who bought a dog and opened a subdivision on the dog. But that shows. Mr. Walters, you should be on the air, and I should be... Well, now I guess we're ready for our question of the week. It's probably going to start a lot of trouble this week. Husbands and wives have been arguing about this particular matter for a great many years. Our question tonight is, do you think women drivers operate their cars as efficiently as men? Do you drive a car, Mr. Lazarus?
Yes, I do.
Do you think that women they drive as well as men, do you?
Oh, definitely not.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Well, this is rather an unfair question. Have you ever had any distressing experiences on the road with lady drivers?
So many that I can't remember any definite one.
Oh, it's too bad. You should have kept You should have kept a file or a diary or something. Well, I did. I tell you, I saw a woman put out her hand to turn left on 46th Street today and make a right turn. And the policeman went over and spoke to her about it. She says, I wasn't making any signal. I just had a manicure, and I put out my hand to let my nail enamel dry. But, of course, that's only hearsay. Mrs. Saz, do you drive a car, do you?
Yes, I do.
Well, how do you feel? Do you think that women drivers are as skilled at the wheel as men?
Yes, I think women are just as good as men at the wheel.
You think that women...
Yes, definitely.
Do you drive a car out in Hollywood, do you?
Yes.
Well, you must be.
Well, I read in one of the national magazines that women have no more accidents than men.
Women have...
So that should count in the final analysis.
Well, of course, you can't say that. They might be
men need
fewer.
us for an alibi when they're out and driving.
Oh, no. You can't... Now, wait a minute. Mrs. Sass, if you drive out in Hollywood, you don't need any further recommendation. Out there, those drivers do 60 in parking spaces. Well, how do you feel about it, Mr. Walters? Do you drive a car?
No, I don't, Mr. Allen.
Well, neither do I. We have something in common. And how do you feel about lady drivers?
Well, I'm non-committal.
You're not? Well, now we've got a deadlock. Mrs. Sass says that women drive better, and Mr. Lazarus says that women don't drive quite as well. You haven't, as a radio gag man, you haven't got an odd joke around that could get us out of this routine, have you? About a lady driver? I had another joke today that might finish the whole thing for us. You know, yesterday here in New York, the people voted on and passed the Pari Mutual machine in spite of the fact that the mayor said that he didn't want the thing passed. So I heard that this morning Mayor LaGuardia says that now the bookmakers have made their bets, they can lie in them. Well, apparently we have reached a deadlock in our forum tonight. Mr. Lazarus says aye, Mrs. Sass says nay, and Mr. Walters is non-committal. I want to thank you all a lot for your kind cooperation tonight, and our forum closes and rests until next week. Thank you a lot. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Wynne Murray returns to sing for us Blow, Gabriel, Blow.
Do you hear that playing? Do you know who's playing? Gabriel, Gabriel's playing. Will you be ready to go when I blow my horn? Blow, Gabriel, blow. Go on and blow, Gabriel, blow. I've been a sinner and I've been a scamp, but now I'm willing to trim my lamp, so blow, Gabriel, blow. I was low, Gabriel, low. Mighty low, Gabriel, low. But now since I have seen the light, I'm good by day and I'm good by night, so blow, Gabriel, blow. Once I was headed for Hades. Once I was headed for Hades. But when I got to Satan's door, I heard you blowing on your horn. So I said, Satan, fare thee well. And now I'm all ready to fly. Yes, to fly higher and higher. 'Cause I've gone through brimstone and I've been through fire. And I've purged my soul and my heart to climb up the mountain top and start to blow, Gabriel, blow. Go on and blow, Gabriel, blow. I want to join your happy band and play all day in the promised land, so blow, Gabriel, blow.
Thank you. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to make a very important announcement, one that throws new light on an old subject. And I can assure you that your close attention will be more than repaid by what you hear. All right, Harry.
Recently, ladies and gentlemen, 7 leading medical journals joined in sending out questionnaires to physicians. They asked, do you recommend a laxative in treating a cold? If so, what type do you prescribe? And here is the result of that impartial survey.
7 out of every 10 physicians said they prescribe a saline laxative.
And, ladies and gentlemen, Sal Hepatica is, we believe, the outstanding saline laxative in America today. It is speedy, yet gentle. And speed is mighty important in fighting a cold. In addition, Sal Hepatica helps nature counteract the acidity that so frequently accompanies a cold. So in 2 ways, sparkling Sal Hepatica helps fight colds, and helps faster. Check these statements with your doctor. And before another day goes by, get an economical bottle of Sal Hepatica from your druggist. Then, whenever a cold threatens, do as so many physicians recommend. Take 2 teaspoonfuls of Sal Hepatica in a glass of water. Help nature help you to get through this winter with less time out for colds. with gentle, quick-acting sal hepatica.
Peter Van Steeden and his Ipana Rhythm 16 have just played Go Fly a Kite. How you can fly a kite with no strings in the orchestra, I don't know. And now, say, Harry, before we go any farther, let's clean this up. What you were trying to say a minute ago.
I can get it straight for you now.
You want to, let's straighten it out.
2 tablespoons.
That's all we wanted to know. Thank you very much. And now, ladies and gentlemen, just as long as everything is thoroughly understood. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Mastodonic Allen Art Group. Tonight they present a radio calamity entitled The Sound Man's Revenge, or He Only Pulled the Trigger a Little Way, because the leading man was half shot already. Peter.
This is station FOO. Through the courtesy of the Leffingwell Loan Company, we bring you the correct time. When you hear the client's body fall, it will be 9:48 Leffingwell Loan Shark time.
What? 90% interest. I'm ruined. Oh.
9:48 Leffingwell Loan Shark time. Men, do you need cash? Call Leffingwell, the friendly financier. Leffingwell doesn't attach your salary or your automobile. All Leffingwell takes is your right eye. The left eye still belongs to you. Digby Livid, a satisfied Leffingwell client, right?
6 months ago, I didn't have no shirt on me back. I made a loan from Leffingwell's. Now I ain't got no skin on me back.
You, too, can get skun, folks. Remember our slogan, we aim to squeeze. Borrow the Leffingwell way, spelled W-A-Y.
And now Station FOO presents The Finnegan Playhouse, starring Dawson Bell.
Good evening. This is Dawson Bells coming to you through the courtesy of Finnegan's Fish Cakes. Tonight, Finnegan's Fish Cakes and Dawson Bells celebrate our first anniversary on the air. We are thrilled tonight to have as our guest Hollywood's most famous screen star, Miss Kitty Droopy. Audience, meet Miss Kitty Droopy.
Hello, everyone. I'm charmed to be here, really am. Charmed with this, charmed with that, charmed with dear Dawson, charmed with... Ow, who pinched me?
Thank you. Thank you, divine Miss Droopy. And now, ladies and gentlemen, another anniversary treat. My program is famous, and rightly so, for my sound effects, conceived in solitude by me. I now present the man who has so faithfully executed my sound effects man, Theodore Slade. Speak to your public, Slade. No, dear boy. Say something yourself.
Hello.
Thank you, Slade. And now, ladies and gentlemen, with your kind permission, Dawson Bells presents...
Act 1 of our Finnegan Fish Cake Playhouse. Tonight's masterpiece is entitled Jack and Jill. The radio version is by Dawson Bells from the Mother Goose rhyme of the same name. Prologue is by Dawson Bells.
Thank you. To most of us, Jack and Jill is a simple nursery rhyme. Jack and Jill went up the hill, and so on ad infinitum. Ah, but what tragedy lies behind this innocuous little rhyme? The heartbreaks of a country boy and his simple rustic sweetheart. Tonight, as your narrator, I, Dawson Bells, acquaint you with the true story of Jack and Jill. I am Jack Jordan. I live somewhere in New England. New England, land of penury, misery, frustration. My father is a cruel man, cold and bitter as a December morning. One night, I am in the barn alone. My father has given me no supper. I am making a popover of owl's eggs. As I licked the albumin of owl egg from my fingers, the barn door opens. My father enters.
Jack! Jack!
Here,
Go
Paul.
up the hill and fetch a pail of water.
Pail of water? No, siree. Not on no bitter cold night like this.
I said get a pail of water. Now get.
Paul said get, so I gat. Outside that barn door I stood, seething with rage. Over and over again I said to myself, what shall I do? What shall I do? A voice within me answered.
Don't get that water. Don't get that water. Kill your father. Kill your father.
Yes, I would kill my father. Inside our squalid house, my father sat, his back to the door. I picked up an axe. Stealthily, I crept to the house. Silently, I opened the door. I lost my nerve. Quietly, I closed the door. Slade, I said quietly.
Sorrow, Mr. Bells. I got so many sound effects here.
Well,
I don't know.
concentrate, Slade.
Yes, sir.
Do that. I decided to forgive my father and fetch the pail of water. Yonder into the cold night I went. Up the steep hill with my heavy oaken pail I toiled. What was that huddled form crouching in my path? Was it a girl? It was. I stopped. The girl spoke.
Hello.
Howdy.
I've lost my way, sir. Help me, please. I need warmth, shelter.
You with the Bose unit?
Oh, no. I'm not lost with a group. I'm just lost.
Oh,
What's your name?
Jack Jordan. What's yours?
Jillabacue Muck and Fuss.
Jillabacue, mucking fuss?
Yes.
Mind if I call you Jill?
Jack.
Jill.
Jack.
Jill.
Jack.
Jill.
This dialogue, ladies and gentlemen, is not to be found in the original Mother Goose version. It has been interpolated by Dawson Bells. We return you now to the play.
Jack.
Jill.
Jack.
Jill, I love you, Jill. Yes, love had crept into my bleak little world on rosy, dimpled knees. As Jill and I sat there on that hill, the music of her musical name ran musically through my head like music. All about me, the trees, the bushes seemed to be singing.
Jillabacue Muck and Fuss. Jillabacue Muck and Fuss. Jillabacue Muck and Fuss.
Yes, Jillabacue Muck and Fuss. Ah, ecstasy, our very spirit seemed to embrace. As Jill and I prepared to learn something from our spirits, a figure burst upon us from out the gloom. It was my father. My father spoke.
I told you to fetch a pail of water. I'll teach you to disobey your pa.
My father lunged at me. I parried his thrust. His hand flashed to his belt. I asked myself one question. Was my father pulling his knife?
You're doggone right I'm pulling my knife.
Yes, I was doggone right. Father was pulling his knife. Jill screamed. Father advanced. Father said,
Right here, son.
I felled my father with a blow.
Oh!
Blind with rage, I snatched the knife. I was no longer master of myself. I stood over Father's prostrate form. I raised the knife
And so ends Act 1 in our Finnegan Playhouse, folks. Jack's father doesn't like that upraised knife, does he? But what would he say if on the end of that upraised knife he saw a delicious Finnegan fish cake? He'd say, shoot the fish cake to me, Jack boy. Housewives, take a tip from Pa Jordan. Stop in at your grocer's tomorrow. Buy a box of these appetizing, golden brown, tangy fresh, butter soft, creamy smooth, mellow rich, honey sweet, oven crisp, fluffy flake, Finnegan's fish cakes. And now, Act 2 of the Finnegan Playhouse, presenting Jack and Jill, and starring Dawson Bell.
The scene, the top of the hill. Jill is discovered sitting. I, Jack Jordan, had just killed my father. Into the night, Jill and I fled. A storm came up. The wind howled. The thunder roared. The rain came down in torrents. Slade, turn that seltzer bottle the other way.
I'm sorry, sir. These sound effects, I'm going dippy.
Man yourself, Slade.
Yes, sir.
Jill and I fled down the hill, onward, ever onward. My father's body had been discovered. The long arm of the law reached out to grasp us. From the south came the county sheriff on horseback. From the east came the deputy by train. From the west came the G-men by airplane. And from the north, the Mounties in their sleigh. Could Jill and I escape? We grew mad with fear. The law was closing in. Airplanes zoomed. Sleigh bells jangled. Horses hoofed. Slade! What is going on here?
Sorrow, sir. These sound effects is getting me screwy.
Where was I?
You were here with us.
Oh, yes, the sheriff on horseback. The sheriff pulled up his horse and spoke.
Hold on there, Jack Jordan. I'm arresting you for murder.
Well, I ain't submitting, Sheriff.
Jack.
Jill.
Jack.
Jill.
Jack.
Come with me, Jack Jordan.
I was resolved that sheriff would never take me alive. I pulled my father's knife. I stabbed that sheriff to the heart. I stabbed him, Slade, not shot him.
Sorrow, Mr. Phelps. I'm going nuts here.
What was that, Slade?
I killed him again.
This is confusing.
You're telling me.
And now, Jill spoke.
Jack, I can't stand it.
Jill, put down that gun.
No, I'll end it all. Goodbye, Crowell.
Slade, the gun! The gun!
Sorrow, sir.
Oh.
Jill is dead. The sheriff dead. My father dead. I alone live.
Yeah, but not for long, Dawson Bells.
Slade, what does this mean?
I'm going nuts, Bells. Horses' hooves, bodies falling, sleigh bells. Ever since you went on the air, you've driven me crazy with your sound effects. I can't stand it no more.
Put down that gun, Slade. What are you doing?
I'm getting my revenge. That's what I'm doing. Take this, Bell.
Oh, this is Dawson Bells signing off permanently, ladies and gentlemen. Pending rigor mortis, I remain obediently yours. Oh.
And this is Slade, the sound effects man, quitting for good, folks. And I remain disobediently yours. Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's no news to you that at the onset of a cold, most physicians prescribe a laxative. But do you know what type they recommend? In a very recent impartial survey among physicians conducted by leading medical journals, it was found that 7 out of 10 physicians prescribe a saline laxative for colds. And Sal Hepatica is, we believe, the outstanding saline laxative in America. Now, there are 2 very good reasons for this. First,
Sal Hepatica acts quickly, yet it is exceptionally gentle.
And remember, since the progress of a cold is quick, this greater speed of Sal Hepatica is especially important in fighting it. Second,
Sal Hepatica also helps nature counteract the acidity that so often accompanies a cold.
So you see, Sal Hepatica helps in 2 ways, and helps faster. Check these facts with your doctor. Get an economical bottle of Sal Hepatica at your nearest drugstore tomorrow, or even tonight. And always keep it on hand for special cold-fighting service. Remember, for faster action against colds, take sparkling Sal Hepatica.
Now, before we go, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget that on next Wednesday night, the Fred Allen Hour will bring you Health Hints.
How can I get rid of a pain in the neck?
Send your wife to Reno.
Your song of the week.
Oh, the Jim Ump jump is the jump in jive. Oh, the Jim Ump, the jump
just a minute. That's Jim Jam, not Jim Ump, isn't it?
I gotta leave out the jam, but I'm dieting.
Oh, I see. Our guest star will be
Dr. Rockwell, direct from his tour of Maine.
Hear Dr. Rockwell's thrilling story.
My 4 years in the lobster pot.
Hear Dr. Rockwell's exciting tale.
The night I spent in a seagull's nest with a good egg.
Next Wednesday, for one night only, Dr. Rockwell.
And music.
Ladies and gentlemen, right now, some 450 American cities are raising funds to maintain their hospitals, visiting nurses, child and family welfare, and other humanitarian services. These community chests deserve our support. Let's give it generously.
Thank you.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
85 years ago, November 8th, 1939, The Fred Allen Show, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Coming up on our Saturday show, Lum and Abner, the Aldrich Family, Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy, and a salute to Jack Benny. But up next, speaking of Jack, he's a contestant on a quiz show. Take it or leave it. That's next.
Should public utilities fail in time of disaster, refrigerated foods must be either cooked or eaten before they spoil. If this can't be done, throw it away.
Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox continues now with an episode of the quiz show Take It or Leave It, starring Bill Baker. Now, why would we be dealing with a quiz show from 82 years ago? It's because one of the contestants, honest to goodness, is Jack Benny. Let's listen.
Take it or leave it. Time to sharpen your wits with Eversharp. Yes, take it or leave it. Presented by the makers of Eversharp Skyline pens, repeater pencils, desk sets, and Eversharp Red Top lead. Take it or leave it. The most exciting game you ever played. The game that doubles in interest with every question asked. And so, I give you the man with the $64 questions, Eversharp's distinguished master of ceremonies. Here he is, Bill Baker.
Thank you, Ken Niles, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome again to Take It or Leave It, which goes all the way from California, where everything is sunshine, to New York, where everything is dewy. Now, There was quite a turnout at an election. I walked up to one fella and said, this is a long line of people for a Hollywood voting booth. He said, Hollywood voting booth, nothing. This line is from a place in Santa Monica that's got coffee. Yes, indeed, times certainly changed. The expression used to be, what's cooking? Now it's what's freezing. But, let's get on with Take It or Leave It before they put a ceiling on contestants. I just want to remind our guests this evening that should they win any prizes, they may take cash or war-saving stamps. And here is our first contestant, who is Mr., Chief Philip Jacobs of the United States Coast Guard. Good evening, Chief Jacobs. You can put your hat down.
Good evening, sir.
Welcome to Take It or Leave It. How are you feeling tonight, sir?
Very fine, thank you.
Is this the first time you've ever been on our program?
It is, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
You're having fun? I mean, do you like appearing on the stage, or is this something old for you? Have you appeared on the stage
Brand
before?
new, first time.
First time?
Yes, sir.
You're not nervous, are you?
Just shaking a little bit.
Shaking a little. Are you having a good time in Hollywood?
Having a fine time, sir.
You seen any movie stars?
Saw plenty of them.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Who's your favorite?
Of the girls?
Of the girls. Yes.
Dorothy Lamour.
Without a sarong, a man ain't got a friend, I say. Well, you know, I may turn out to be an actor myself. Sam Goldwyn and I were up all last night working on several deals. He snarted me 3 times. What did we talk? Huh?
Must have been Claviage.
No, it was gin rummy. You heard it. Gin rummy. Well, what do we talk about tonight, Chief Jacobs? What have you chosen off that board?
Football team.
Football.
Number 6.
Very good. Okay, here we go with football. You're to tell me what college football team is known by each of the following nicknames for $1. Bruins or U-Clans.
UCLA.
That's correct. You get $1. I got to stop making these dollar questions so tough. Think you'd like to try another team?
Yes, sir.
Okay, for $2. What college football squad is known as the Ramblers or Fighting Irish?
Notre Dame.
That is correct. Yes, sirree. You get $2. Football was a dangerous game when I used to play it. I had to wear a helmet, head guard, nose guard, rib pads, and all that stuff. I never knew when I might faint and fall off the bench. Why, you have $2. Would you like to try for 4?
Yes, sir.
What team is known as Tar Heels?
North Carolina.
Nothing could be finer. Yes, sirree. All right, you have $4. Are you bucking the line for the $8 question or sticking with the Tar Heels and $4? You can take it or leave it.
I'll try again.
Try for 8?
That's right.
You know your football, don't you? I can tell.
Just a little bit, not so much.
Just a little. Okay, for $8. What team is known as Gophers?
Gophers.
No help, please. Take your time.
Wait a minute.
I don't think you know this one.
Minnesota.
All right. You have $8. You're on the 8-yard line. Will you try a quick run to the $16 mark?
Yes,
Stop
sir.
at 8.
No,
Try
I'll
for 16. Here we go. What team is known as the Wolverines?
Wolverines is Wisconsin.
Oh. Take your time now. Wait a minute. Think. Wolverines.
Wait a minute. Wolverine.
Wolverine.
Michigan.
Michigan, yes, sirree. Right with Evershaw. Just take it easy, my friend. Now you have $16. What'll we do? Would you like to take it or try for 32?
One more time.
One more
Just
time?
one.
What do you think he ought to do, folks? All right, here we go for $32. What team is known as Badgers?
Badgers is Wisconsin.
Yes, sirree. All right, you have $32. Would you like to take your 32? What do you mean by
ooh? That's a lot of money. I'll go for it.
You'll go for 64.
Yeah, I'll go for it.
All right, you're on the 10-yard line with 10 seconds to play. You want to try the $64 question. What team is called Panthers?
Panthers?
No help, please.
Panthers. Whoa. Whoa.
Panthers.
Gee, you got me.
Huh?
I'm afraid you got me. Panthers.
Panthers, yeah. What? Don't ever do that. Come on, the Panthers. No help, please. Did you hear that? The lady said Pittsburgh. I heard it.
I didn't hear it.
You didn't hear it?
My word of
Well,
honor.
I'm going to give you an alternate. Would you like an alternate?
Please,
$64?
Yes, sir. I'll eat coffee and
All
everything
right.
else in a minute.
Here we go. What team is known as the Blue Devils?
Blue Devils.
Yeah.
Blue Devils.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Blue Devils. The Blue Devils.
Yeah. The Blue Devils. The Blue Devils. Well, I can't paint pictures for you. I'm sorry.
The Blue Devils.
Yeah. Do you know?
The Coast Guard?
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you know this one?
The Blue Devils.
Yeah. We have to get on. I'm sorry.
Can't get the Blue Devils.
don't
Wait a
know?
minute. No, wait, just 1 minute.
All right. I'll wait. Got a cigarette? Or, I mean,
Yeah, I got a cigar.
The Blue Devils. Okay. No help from the audience. I'm sorry, sir.
No,
Do you know this
I
one?
didn't listen. I didn't hear him. The Blue Devils.
Do you
The
know?
Marines.
The Marines? No, I'm sorry. The Blue Devils is Duke University. Better luck next time. Stand by for the jackpot. All right, here we are with our next contestant, who is Miss Eleanor Owen of Los Angeles. Good evening, Miss Owen.
Good evening.
You're a secretary?
Yes, I am.
Are you employed at the moment?
Yes, I am.
I'm sorry, because I don't like this one, and, oh, I love her. Tell me, what did you receive as a gift, please?
Never sharp pen.
A Never Sharp pen. You'll like it even more when you write with it. Never Sharp Skyline pens are streamlined for perfect balance and finger-fitting comfort. Now, what do we talk about, Mr. Owen?
The orchestra and accordion.
Oh, thank you. That gives me a chance to play. Well, aren't you nice? Cookie Fairchild, the orchestra, and your humble servant are going to play a group of tunes, and each one is about a person. You tell us who that person is. Okay, Cookie?
Jerry Youngster. The man on the flying trapeze.
Flying trapeze. Yes, there is. That's who it is. Well, you've got $1. Would you like to try for two? This one is on
Yes,
me.
I'll try for two.
You will?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Dinah.
I didn't hear it. That's all I know. Okay, you've got $2. Now, would you like to try for four?
Yes.
Okay, let's take it, Cookie.
My darling Clementine.
Clementine, yes, sirree. What a gal, Clementine. You may have noticed that all the boys in Cookie Fairchild's band carry little suitcases. The union sends them here to convalesce after a hard week's work. Well, that makes $4. How about trying for 8?
I'll try.
This one is on me again. Let me play a couple of bars.
Sweet Milani.
Okay, the musical score is $8 now. Is it Home Sweet Home, or would you like to try it for 16?
I'll try for 16.
All right, Cookie, that's you.
Five by five.
Mr. 5 by 5, yeah, man. Now, you have 3 by 5 and 1. That's 16. Would you like to try for 32?
Yes.
All right. This is an oldie, now think. You know that? Huh?
Heard it. I can't think of the name.
You don't know this one?
Can't think of the name.
You can't think of it. It's rather old. I'm sorry. The name is Mandy. It's an old song. Better luck next time. Well, I don't know. I have something to say here. Ken Niles, you look as snug as if you'd answered the $64 question. Thank you.
And indeed I have, Phil. The $64 Christmas question. You've seen handsome desk sets before, but nothing to compare to the sparkling beauty of the new Eversharp. Cast your eyes on this one. The base made of rare Argentine onyx, perfectly veined, clear down into its crystal heart. And blue-green, which means this is a choice selection. Add to that a streamlined Eversharp Skyline pen in Dubonnet red or jet black, and you have a truly magnificent gift. Yet, now listen carefully. This desk set is priced at only $7.50. Others, in a wide selection of styles, on bases of wood, leather, ebony glass, and onyx, are priced at $10, $15, $20, and up. Magic Feed prevents flooding, drying, or clogging, so your Eversharp writes instantly and keeps on writing clear down to the last drop of ink. And service on the pens is guaranteed. Not for years, not for life, but guaranteed forever. Tomorrow, compare. Comparison proves. Give Eversharp, and you give the finest. Following through with Take It or Leave It for Eversharp. And here's our next contestant coming up to the microphone, who is Mr. Jack Bennett. Bennett?
No, Benny. Jack Benny.
Jack Benny. Oh.
Benny.
Jack Benny.
B-E-N-N-Y.
B-E-N-N-Y. Thank you, sir. And where are you from, Mr. Benny?
Well, I'm Waukegan.
That's right near Chicago, isn't it?
Yeah, it's right between Chicago and Milwaukee.
It is. Nice town, is it?
Pardon me?
Nice town?
Well, we're mighty proud of it.
Tell me, Mr. Benny, what business are you in, sir, please?
What business?
Yes.
Well, I'm a musician, a violinist.
Have you an orchestra, Mr. Benny?
An orchestra?
Yes.
Well, not anymore. I used to be in Waukegan. I used to be with Ken Rappaport's Riveting Rhythm Boys.
Well, what category do you think you'd like to talk to me about, Mr. Benny?
Well, how about that news making?
There's no smoking.
I
What seems to be the trouble, Mr. Benny?
I have my glasses with me.
Would you mind standing just a little closer to the microphone, please? And you're a bit nervous, aren't you?
Well, I'm not quite used to this thing.
Would you like some coffee?
Coffee?
Yeah, have some coffee.
Thank you. I will.
Don't spill it, Mr. Benny. You feel a little better now?
Yes, thank you.
Feel better. Well, that's fine. Just relax, won't you, please, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
right. Now, look, Mr. Benny, as long as you're a musician, maybe you'd like to talk about music.
Yeah, that would be fine.
All right, here we go with musical. You've got me with musical history. Now, for the first question, for $1, tell me,
Who wrote Mendelssohn's Spring Song?
Well,
Mendelssohn's Spring Song.
A Mendelssohn?
That's correct. You get $1.
Thank you.
That gives you $1. Now, will you try for 2?
No, thank you. I'll take the $1.
But, Mr. Benny, everybody tries for at least the $2 question.
Well, it's all the same to you. I just soon take the $1 and go.
Oh, come now, Mr. Benny. This next question will be very easy. Take a chance.
Well, I'd rather not, but then if it's easy...
What do you say, Mr. Benny? Come on.
Well, if it's easy,
yes,
it's an easy one. I'll take it.
All right, for $2, tell me, who was it who fiddled while Rome burned?
Zero.
That was Nero.
Nero. I knew it was Nero. I had Nero on my mind. I knew it was Nero.
What Nero?
Yeah, it was King Nero.
It was Emperor Nero.
Oh, Emperor. Give me the $2. It was Emperor Nero.
Don't you want to try for the $4 question?
No, thank you. Just the $2.
But, Mr. Benny, all of these questions are easy. Take a chance on the $4 question, will you?
Well, if they're easy, I will. Okay.
All right, then. What do you say? For $4?
Yes.
Here we go. For $4, tell me. See if you can tell me the name of 2 out of 3 very famous violin makers.
Well, there was Stradivarius.
That's good.
And then there's that famous Italian violin maker, Amati.
Very good. You get $4. By the way, Mr. Benny, tell me, what did you receive as a gift tonight?
A pencil.
Can you tell me what kind of a pencil?
A lead pencil.
Oh. That is a genuine Eversharp repeater pencil.
The man in front of me got a pen.
That's the Eversharp Skyline pen.
Yeah. The man in back of me got a pen, too. I got a pencil.
I heard you. I know. Well, would you like to try for the $8?
Pardon?
Would you like to try the $8 question?
The $8 question?
Yes.
Well,
very easy. You wanted to try.
Well, all right. I'll try it. Easy.
For $8, tell me, what Russian composer just completed one of the greatest and longest compositions called the Seventh Symphony?
Shostakovich, is it? Or
Shostakovich.
Shostakovich.
You get $8. You're doing wonderfully. Tell me, Mr. Benny, have you ever been to this program before?
34 times, and I always got a pencil.
Well, you know our pencils are guaranteed not for years, not for life, but forever.
Well, how do I know where you'll be 50 years from now?
Well, now, look, would you like to try the $16 question? They're quite easy.
All right,
Well, for $16, tell me what famous musician was once premier of Poland?
Paderewski.
Right with Eversharp. Well, Mr. Benny, you certainly know a lot about music, don't you?
Pardon?
I say you know a lot about music.
Well, I lived with Ben Burney for 5 years.
That accounts for it. Now, how would you like to try the $32 question?
No. I think just a second. No, I brought some people with me. I'd have to ask them.
Your family?
No, my lawyer.
Your lawyer.
Have 3 of them here.
Well, what do you think you ought to do? Start with $32?
Well, if it's easy.
All right, here it is. For $32, what famous orchestra conductor appeared in the picture 100 Men and a Girl?
Stokowski.
You have $32. Yes, there is. Now then, you see how easy these questions are, Mr. Benny. Wouldn't you like to try for $64?
No, thank you. No, just the $32.
Well, look, 64 is, come on, I really $32. Won't you please?
No.
For 64, Abbott?
Well, I don't... Are they easy, the $64?
Well, this one is rather easy.
It is?
Yes.
It is? Well, then All right, I'll take a chance.
For $64.
I'll take a chance for 64. Remember, I wanted to quit, of course, at 32, but
Well, you do want to try for 64.
I'll try it.
All right. Here's the $64 question. Over a period of 75 years, at least 100 great musical composers have attempted to write an ending for Schubert's immortal composition, his Unfinished Symphony. Can you name at least 37 of these composers?
Now, wait a minute, Baker. I want my $32.
But, Mr. Benny, I can't give you $32. You tried with a $64
I don't care. You coaxed me into it. I beg to stop after $32.
Now, just a minute.
I'll see my lawyers.
I can't help it, Mr. Benny. You've got to answer the $64 question. Can you name those 37 composers?
I can't even name the Blue Devils. Now, look, I don't want to have anything to do with this.
Now, look, I'm sorry, Mr. Benny, but you can't have
$32.
Stop screaming, Mr. Benny. You've got 34 pencils.
Yes, and I'll take those 34. I'll write 34 letters to your sponsor.
All right,
you
I'm
can't
sorry,
do that
Mr. Benny. Get off, will you, please? This wasn't a meatless day. I'd fight him. If Corporal Leroy Weltman, one of the contestants on last week's program, is listening in, will he please get in touch with me as soon as possible? I have a check for $64 for it. His answer to a question about the official Army magazine was technically wrong, but there is a newspaper called Army Times. And because he was so close to the mark, Eversharp wants him to have the $64. So, if anyone listening in knows Corporal Weltman and his... Where is he? Is he in the audience? Contestant is Private John Persia of the United States Army. How do you do, Private Persia?
Oh, pretty good, man.
You all right?
Yeah, so far.
You all right so far? Are you on furlough?
No.
You're not on furlough. You've been to the canteen?
Okay.
The Hollywood canteen?
Once before the next.
It's quite a place, isn't it? Well, you must go there a lot. You're perfectly welcome. The place is open for you fellas. What have you chosen off that board to talk to me?
Number 15.
15 is a man named Lawrence. Okay, here we go. These men all have one thing in common. Their first name is Lawrence. You see if you can identify each one from the following descriptions for $1. This Lawrence is one of the 5 sons of John D. Rockefeller.
Lawrence Rockefeller.
That's right. You get a buck. Right on the first bound. Would you like to try for 2?
Mm-hmm.
Then see if you can identify this Lawrence. He played Heathcliff in Wuthering Heights. He's married to Vivian Lee.
Lawrence Oliver.
Olivier. Yes, sirree. Okay. There's a guy. The greatest gift to women since the two-way stretch. You have a steak of $2. Do you want all that meat and 4 potatoes?
Give me the meat.
Okay, here we go for $4. This Lawrence is nicknamed Larry. He's a harmonica virtuoso.
Larry Adler.
Yes, sirree. You get $4. All right. We just have a few moments now. You have $4. Would you like to try for 8?
Yep.
Here we go. This Lawrence is a Metropolitan Opera baritone. You've undoubtedly heard him sing Figaro, Figaro, Figaro. Tibet. Yes, sirree. You get $8. Now you have $8. Would you like to try for 16? What do you think? You can take your 8.
I'm coming.
With $16, here we go. This Lawrence, nicknamed Buster, is a famous swimmer and Tarzan player.
Crab.
Crab, that's the boy. All right, that gives you $16. Would you like to try with 32 or take your 16?
Can I get you an outfit, honey?
He wants to know if he can get his honey an outfit.
My wife.
Oh, your wife? Well, wonderful. I'm rooting for you.
All right, let's
go.
But
look, you really want to take this next one? It's a tough one.
Forget about it.
Give the boy $16. Now, wait a minute. Now, just let's, for fun, see if you knew the $32 question. This Lawrence was co-author with Maxwell Anderson of What Price Glory? No help. You don't know?
No.
Well, you get $16 and stand by for the jackpot. All right. Our jackpot amounts to $98. Now a word from Ken Niles, then we'll be back with the jackpot question.
Big men who take big things in their stride are naturally attracted to the rugged, sturdy Eversharp Executive Pen. It is built to husky yet streamlined proportions, with giant satin smooth point that stands the gap, and massive barrel that holds far more ink, perfect for the man who works longer, harder hours. This pen writes more words more smoothly, requires less refilling, and Magic Feed prevents flooding high in a plane, so on ground level, too. Deep pocket clip meets military regulations. Designed to sell at $10, mass production economies permit this pen to be priced at only $8.75. You get the complete set with giant Eversharp repeater pencil to match, with service on both pen and pencil guaranteed, not for years, not for life, but guaranteed forever. Compare. Give Eversharp, and you give the finest.
Thanks, Ken Niles, and now we're ready for the jackpot question. Our jackpot amounts to $98. If more than one person answers correctly, the money will be equally divided among the winners. But if nobody answers correctly, the money will be given to the Army and Navy Relief Society. All right, here's the jackpot question. What lieutenant general led the British 8th Army to victory in Libya? You have 30 seconds to write your answer. Okay, Cookie Fairchild? Here are the jackpot answers. No answer on this one. Incorrect. This one is wrong. Montgomery is correct. Montgomery is correct. Montgomery is right. Montgomery is correct. Montgomery is correct. Montgomery is correct. Congratulations to Lieutenant General Montgomery, and congratulations to our jackpot winners. And now a word from Ken Niles.
Service on all Eversharp pens from $5 up and on all Eversharp repeater pencils, regardless of price, is guaranteed forever. Now, this means if your Eversharp should fail to give you satisfactory service at any time, we will put it in good order for a flat charge of 35 cents to cover postage, insurance, and handling, provided all parts, regardless of their condition, are returned. Remember, this service is guaranteed. Not for years, not for life. Guaranteed forever.
Thanks, Ken Niles. Before we sign off, I'd like to inform my listeners that after the program, the time consumed by Jack Benny will be given to another contestant. We hope all of you listening have enjoyed Take It or Leave It as much as Eversharp has enjoyed bringing it to you. We'll meet you all again next week at this same time, so let's make it a date. Meanwhile, don't forget to sharpen your wits with an Eversharp. This is Phil Baker saying good night for Eversharp. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
A little noisy, but I think you enjoyed it. At least I know I did. Take It or Leave It from 82 years ago, November 8th, 1942, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We're going to go back 87 years for an episode of Fibber McGee and Molly in a moment.
Civil defense is common sense. This is Fred McMurray. Home shelters can be built for as little as $100. Simple plans for building inexpensive home shelters are available free from your Civil Defense office. Ask for a copy of the Family Fallout Shelter booklet.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we're going to go back a long ways to an early episode of Fibber McGee and Molly, 87 years ago, November 8th, 1937.
When you walk on wax, you save your floors. The Johnson Wax Program, presenting Marian and Jim Jordan as Fibber McGee and Molly. Ted Weems and his orchestra open the show with Who Put That Moon in the Sky? In this modern age, smart housewives want newer and easier ways of doing their housework. That's why millions of up-to-date women have become enthusiastic users of Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat, the easy-to-use liquid floor polish that requires no rubbing or buffing. Glow Coat keeps their linoleum and floors shining like new, protected from dirt and wear, very easy to clean. Why don't you try Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat on your kitchen linoleum tomorrow? See the gleaming polish, then hear the compliments of your family and friends. You'll agree that Glow Coat is a miracle worker, changing dull, attractive, unattractive floors into bright, beautiful floors right before your eyes. Glow Coat is spelled Glocoat. Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat. This should be an interesting evening for the McGees. They've received word that they're to be interviewed by a representative of the Combined and Amalgamated Newspaper Association. And here, momentarily expecting the interviewer, we find Fibber McGee and Molly.
Well, McGee, you surely dolled up for this interview.
What you mean, dolled up?
Why, with your new tie and your shoes shined and that haircut.
Oh, yeah. Even got my pants pressed.
Oh. I wondered why you stood up all the way down here in the taxi cab.
Oh, well.
Pardon me, are you Mr. McGee and Molly?
Oh, you betcha, sis. But you'll have to excuse us. We're waiting for an interview.
I think I'm the interviewer you're waiting for. I'm Miss Blibbins.
Oh, how do you do, I'm sure.
Hi, Blib. Got your notebook ready? All set? Well, I was born of rich but honest parents in a little log cabin on Park Avenue.
In Peoria.
Yeah, I was born in Peoria.
Don't forget me, McGee. I was born, too, you know.
Me and Molly was schoolboy, childhood plaything. We grew up together. It was love at first sight. With Molly, anyway. I ain't so easily convinced.
McGee.
I see. And how did you two first get into radio work?
Well, you
said Libby, one day at old station WIBO, one of the singers didn't show up, and they had to do something. So when the janitor points to a handsome lad sitting modestly on the bench in the studio and says, "Try him. He can sing."
And you were that singer?
No, he was that janitor.
Well, now, if you don't mind, we'll take some pictures. All right, Joe.
Oh, yes. My left profile is best, Libby. Barrymore's like me that way. Shall I sit on the piano?
Pipe down, you.
Huh?
A little to the left, Mrs. McGee.
Oh, like this?
That's it.
Now, can you take one of me
Now, one sitting down, Mrs. McGee. Fine.
How about one of me
Raise
leading
your
the
chin a little for this one, Mrs. McGee. Now, face left. Smile.
Oh, I'm glad you got some of Molly. She shows up good in pictures. Now, how shall I pose?
Hey, Miss Blibbins, shall I get one of this guy?
Oh, that's Mr. McGee, Joe. Yes, you can take one of him if you want to.
Okay. All right, McGee. Now, one of you like you was working hard, see?
What you mean?
Untie your necktie.
It don't untie, it unhooks. Okay, you ready? Shoot. Hey, what's going on here? What's the matter? Huh? What happened?
McGee, look what you did to the man's nice camera.
Why, I never
That's all right, lady. He couldn't help it.
Why, no,
A guy looks like he looks, that's all.
Hey, why don't you fix it up so you can take some pictures of Harpo? No, not Harpo. Take Ted Weems and Elmo Tanner and Perry Como.
Well, you can take Elmo and me if you like, but Perry isn't here.
He what?
Perry isn't here. He had a chance to make some personal appearances on Monday nights for a while, so I told him to go ahead.
Oh, well, he's still with your band, though, isn't he, Ted?
Oh, sure.
Say, this is serious. I got to do something about this. I'll either have to get another vocalist for a while or sing myself.
Yet another vocalist, dearie.
See, I'm awfully sorry, but I must get back to the office with these pictures and a story.
Oh, yes, certainly.
Well, I didn't finish giving you the interview, sis. I'm just getting to the romantic part. You see, when I took first prize in 1922 at a walkathon...
And when you walketh on wax, you saveth your floors. Why, hello there, Kitty, darling. How are you?
Harlow.
Gee, say, I was just going out for a bite to eat. Will you join me?
Oh, I'd love to.
Well,
Come on. Thanks, Mrs. McGee. Thank you, Mr. McGee.
Hey, wait a minute. I didn't tell you about when I was... Imagine her running out on me. What's the next number, Molly?
Mama's gone. Goodbye.
Mama's gone. Okay, take it, Ted. We got to do something about finding a singer. Maybe we can find one right here in the studio.
Oh, now, McGee, aren't you pretty optimistic?
What do you mean, optimistic?
Well, look at Major Bowes. He's been at it for years, and he's still looking. Besides, you're no judge of singing.
Oh, I ain't I? Why, I'll always remember the time 3 of us fellers up in Bangor, Maine, formed a quartet that was famous for miles around.
How could 3 of you form a quartet?
Well, one of the boys, old Ket Kettering, worked in a clothing store, and every night he'd sneak one of the dummies out, and at that time I sang both tenor and baritone, and I'd double for the dummy. Why, shucks, nobody would ever found it out if old Ket hadn't pulled a dumb stunt.
What did he do?
Well, we got through singing a concert one night, and Ket says goodnight to the dummy and throws me into the basement window of the store. It was Saturday night, and I couldn't get out till they unlocked the door on Monday.
Well, what about the other what about the dummy all this time?
Well, sir, I never did figure that out. I was working at the city hall then, and they say that dummy sat at my desk all day Sunday. I thought it was a gag till I found a check for overtime at the end of the month.
Say, excuse me, Fibber, but who's going to sing tonight?
We was just talking about that, Ted.
Can you sing, Ted?
Certainly. The only reason I don't is that it keeps 2 other people out of work.
2 others?
Sure, a singer and his agent.
Oh. Well, say, let's hear you sing something, Ted. Maybe, It Looks Like Rain in Cherry Blossom Lane.
All right. Arpeggio, O'Brien. It looks like rain in Cherry Blossom Lane. The sunshine of your smile stays away.
Hold it. Oh, thank you, Theodore.
Not bad, huh? Never took a lesson in my life, either.
I think you underestimated yourself, Ted. If we let you sing, we'd all be out of work.
Gee, am I that good?
Well, you're that. Is there anybody in our audience tonight who can sing?
Heavenly days, they all sing.
Well, you needn't be looking any farther, me boy. It's my own sweet Irish voice and the accompaniment of Mr. O'Brien that'll be thrilling us from court.
Just a minute there, bud. Just a minute. We'll give you a chance to sing, but what's your name again?
Hennessy is the name. Patrick Joseph Hennessy.
What's your occupation, Mr. Hennessy?
McCushler, I'm an officer of the law. Me father was also an officer of the law, and me boy Michael, too.
Heavenly days, 3 policemen in one family.
Must be those 3-star Hennessy's. Don't you get it, Molly? I says it must...
Ain't funny, McGee, but it was.
I'll pour it back. All right, Hennessy. Will you sing a few bars of It Looks Like Rain?
I will not. And what's the matter with the fine old Irish ballads? Rose of Tralee, me wild Irish rose, Rose of Killarney.
Oh, if everything is roses in Ireland, why did you come over here?
Well, we wanted to plant them in a pot, Mavourneen, but we didn't have one over there. Me wild Irish... Me wild Irish rose, the sweetest flower...
Hold it, Hennessy.
Well, what's the matter now?
Well, now listen. We want you to sing It Looks Like Rain in Cherry Blossom Lane.
Yeah, you see, Pat, we want everybody to sing the same thing for purposes of comparison.
All right, then. All right, O'Brien, me fine bucko. Play. It looks like rain in Cherry Blossom Lane, the sweetest flower that grows, my wild cherry blossom rose.
Hold it. Hold it. Well, thank you, Mr. Hennessy. Just go and sit down while we try a few others.
Say, how about me?
Oh, are you a singer, Mr. Wilcox?
Who, me? Why, I'm practically engaged to sweet Adeline.
Ever sing a cappella, Harpo?
How's it go?
Well, I'll tell you. You try a few bars of It Looks Like Rain in Cherry Blossom Lane.
All right.
All right, Bones, a little accompaniment for Harpo.
It looks like rain in Cherry Blossom Lane. But don't mind that, folks, because wet and muddy feet won't hurt your floors if they're protected with Johnson's Wax, the protective polish that...
Harpo. Go sit down, Harpo.
All right. You're going to play favorites, eh?
Yes, and I always play favorites right on the nose. You catch on?
Oh, is that so? Well,
yeah,
let me tell you, you can't get away with...
Oh, gentlemen, please. Mr. Wilcox. Aren't you ashamed? And you so much larger than McGee?
Oh, that reminds me. You save up to 1/3 on the larger sizes, folks. Your nearest dealer will tell you...
Harpo.
Okay, pal, I can take a hint, I guess, but one of these days the worm is going to...
Who's next, Molly? I think we better try to get...
Hey, please, can I try it once? Can I, please?
Oh, hello there, little girl. You sing? I says, are you a vocalist?
That isn't what you said the first time, I betcha.
It amounts to the same thing.
Does it?
Huh? Ain't you pretty young to be auditioning for radio jobs?
Well, gee, my music teacher says the future of American music is in the hands of the rising generation, and that's me, I betcha.
Oh, well, I guess you are at that. I says, for a minute, I didn't know whether you were a midget singer or one of Singer's midgets. By the way, who is your music teacher?
My music teacher?
Yeah.
Professor Cantata.
Oh, Professor Cantata.
Sure.
I know him. Great fellow, the prof.
Why?
Well, for a lot of reasons, sis. I says he's a great fellow for a lot of reasons. A, he's ambitious. B, he's benevolent. C, he's colossal. D, he's determined. E, he's eager. F, he's fatherly.
And G, is he bully?
H, he's handsome. I, he's industrious. J, he's,
Generous?
Yeah, he's... No. Jolly.
Alrighty.
K, he's clever. L, he's lovable. M, he's musical. N, he knows his business. You get the idea?
Yeah. And O, he's awful. P, he's a pest. Q, he thinks he's cute. R, he's rough. S, he's a sourpuss. And T-U-V-W-X-Y-Z, I don't like him. So
there. We don't seem to be getting any place, Molly. Let's try a few more and see what...
Hi, man. How you, boss?
Heavenly day, Silly Watson.
Hi, Sil. Are you a singer?
Yes, I reckon so, please, sir.
What kind of a singer are you, Silly?
I'm a scat singer, ma'am.
Oh, say, that's something, Molly. Sill's a scat singer.
Yeah.
What breed, Sill? Tom scat or alley scat?
But just scat, please, you know. 'Twas in New Jersey that I got eaten by all them great big old mosquitoes. Get eaten, get doten, getting, jutting, wow, wow.
Did you want to try out tonight, Silly?
No, ma'am, I didn't, but I think I know where y'all can grab yourselves off real good, the low tenor, ma'am, if y'all are interested.
Why, of course we're interested, Sill. Perry Como won't be with us for a while, and we got to have somebody.
Yes, I thought so too, boy.
Say, where do we get in touch with this singer, Silly?
Well, ma'am, at the nightclub where I wait on table, they got a real good singing boy, please, ma'am.
What nightclub you working at, Sill?
The Wistful Vista nightclub, please, sir. I sure would like y'all to hear this little old singer.
Well, that's mighty fine of you to take an interest, Sill. We'll be right down there. And if we hire this fellow, Mr. Johnson will give you $5. Get a cab for us, Sill, will you?
Yes, sir. Excuse me now, please. I gotta go.
Come on, Molly. Let's beat it down to the cafe. I'm hungry, too.
Well, don't eat at a nightclub, dearie. It's too expensive.
Well, maybe I can get a hamburger or something around here before we go. Hey, Ted.
What's on your mind, Fibber?
Say, Ted, do you know where we can get a hot dog around here any place?
No, but Elmo and the boys can dish you up a little weenie, weenie, weenie.
Swell. Take it, Ted.
Johnson's new creamy white furniture polish is the kind of polish you have always wanted. It's easy to use, gives an exquisite satiny luster to your furniture, contains no oil to collect dust and finger marks, and both cleans and polishes. Be sure to try Johnson's new creamy white furniture polish.
Cabby ought to get them brakes fixed. How much, driver?
Well, to tell the truth, buddy, I forgot to pull the flag down on the meter. But I make this trip often, and it runs around $3.
It what?
Runs around $3.
Well, let it run around a little longer. Here's 50 cents. Well, come on, Molly. You crowded tonight, doorman?
Yes, sir.
Well, open the door for us.
And I'm sorry, ma'am, you're not dressed.
I'm not dressed. Why, the very... McGee, did you hear what he says
Well,
to me?
I think he means we ain't dressed warm enough. Probably an air-cooled joint. Is that right, Bud?
No, sir.
Oh.
I mean, patrons of this club must be in formal clothes.
Well, for the... what? High hat, huh?
If you prefer, sir. Although a derby is de rigueur with a black tie.
I told you were silly to wear that yellow tie tonight, McGee.
Okay, Bud. Okay, it's no epidermis off of my proboscis. We'll go someplace else where they know how to treat members of the press.
The press. Well, just a minute, sir. Maybe you better go right on in. The head waiter will talk to you anyway.
No, we don't want to go in now. I know when I ain't wanted.
But, McGee, we want to hear this singing.
Well, I'm sorry, sir, but you know how it is. I'm just doing my duty, sir.
Make no difference.
I'm married. I need this job.
Oh. Any children?
Yes, ma'am.
How many?
13, sir.
We'll go in.
Heavenly days, it's so dim in here I can't see.
Oh, well, all nightclubs is dim like this, Molly. You grope your way in and gripe your way out.
Oh, there's Silly Watson now, McGee.
Oh. Hey, Sil!
Hi, ma'am. How you, boss? You sure got here quick.
You betcha.
Yeah, well, here you is, please, folks. Here's
This
your
our table?
Yes, ringside.
Oh, thank you, Silly. Hold me chair, McGee.
Why, has it got a leg loose on it?
No, foolish. I just wanted you to act like a gentleman. Oh, thanks, Silly.
Yes, ma'am. You folks going to order something while you're waiting?
I want a chocolate ice cream soda.
Yes, ma'am. Anything for Chaser?
Got any vintage stuff, Sil?
What?
Vintage stuff, you know.
Oh, yes, you sure have. Yes, we got some real old Brooklyn, 1935, and we got some sparkling Cincinnati, 1936, and some AT&T at 150.
Now, give me a good slug of root beer.
Yes, sir. Well, I'll be back.
Heavenly days, McGee. I don't know why people come to these kind of places. I don't see what they see in these places.
Oh, well, it's some people's idea of fun, Molly. They come down here with $100 and try to get away from it all. And they generally do.
Oh, look, McGee, there's the master ceremony.
Attention, please. Attention. Ladies and gentlemen, we now present the second section of our floor show. And if any section of your floors shows signs of scratching or scuffing, just try Johnson's Wax, the protective.
Harpo!
Ah, yes. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Wistful Vista nightclub takes great pride and pleasure in presenting their great little tenor, Clark Dennis.
Once in a while, will you dream of the moments I shared with you? Moments before we two drifted apart. Goodbye means our affair is ended. Goodbye means there is someone new. Though my heartbreak cannot be mended, dear, I ask only this of you. Once in a while, will you try to give one little thought to me? Though someone else may be nearer your heart. Once in a while, will you dream of the moments I shared with you? Moments before we two drifted apart. In love's smoldering ember, one spark may remain. If love still can remember, the spark may burn again. I know that I'll be contented with yesterday's memory, knowing you think of me once in a
that boy has a lovely voice.
Oh, you betcha. His moderato was particularly fortissimo, I thought. I told Sil to bring him over to the table here.
Oh, here they come. Nice-looking boy, too. What's his name again?
Clark Dennis. Hi, Sil.
Hi.
This him?
Yes, Mr. Dennis, please. This here is Mr. and Miss McGee.
Hello, I'm glad to meet you.
How do you do, I'm sure, Mr. Dennis?
Oh, Dennis. Well, sit down. Where are you from, Dennis?
Australia.
Sydney or Melbourne?
Oh, just call me Clark.
No, say, that was a nice song you put on out there, Bud.
Well, I'm glad you liked it.
Yes, it sure was, Mr. Dennis.
Thanks, Watson.
We came all the way down here to hear you, Mr. Dennis.
Yeah, you betcha, Bud. You see, we got an opening on our show.
An opening? I heard somebody say there's holes in it a yard wide.
Trouble with this guy.
You don't understand, Mr. Dennis.
Now, all you got to do is sing one song on our show on Monday night.
Oh, what show is it?
Johnson's Wax.
Johnson's?
Wax. Johnson's Wax. What is it you put on all your furniture?
Oh, a down payment.
No. But really now, would you like to come on our show?
Well, gee, I'd sort of miss this place.
Oh, don't worry about that, Bud. We'll supply you with a tank full of cigar smoke. The sound man can clatter some dishes for you. Come on, what say? Huh?
All right, then I'll do it. Where do I sign?
Oh, your word's good with us, Bud. But you ain't asked about salary.
Oh, salary too, eh?
Why, of course. Is it a deal?
It's a deal. Where do I go?
Come up to the NBC next Monday night and ask for Fibber McGee and Molly.
All right. Thanks, Molly.
Hey, I'm Fibber. That's Molly. Well, that's a load off my mind, Sil. And we're certainly much obliged to you, boy. Here's your $5 from Mr. Johnson for finding us a singer.
Thank you, Mr. McGee. That's the easiest $5 I ever made.
Well, why are you taking off your apron, silly? Where are you going?
I'm going up to see Mr. Johnson up at Racine. I know where I can get him a couple of good comedians, too.
Oh, sure.
If you have linoleum on your kitchen floor, don't run the risk of spoiling it by floor scrubbing. If you scrub your linoleum, it will soon lose its life and color. Later, it will crack and get bumpy, and finally, it will have to be replaced with a new floor covering. The best housekeepers keep their linoleum bright and sparkling with Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat. This remarkable no-rubbing polish seals out dirt, protects floors from wear, and saves you the drudgery of floor scrubbing. Use Glow Coat on inlaid or printed linoleum, linoleum rugs, rubber tile, asphalt, painted and varnished wood floors. Buy Glow Coat in the attractive yellow can, and remember, you save money on the larger sizes.
Hey, Molly, what was you talking to Clark Dennis about while I was paying the check there at the nightclub?
Oh, I was telling him you used to be a concert singer yourself.
Oh, you did, huh?
Sure. I told him you'd even auditioned for the Metropolitan.
Well, what'd he say?
He said he didn't blame you. It's a beautiful museum.
Museum? Good night.
Good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax and Glow Coat at Racine, Wisconsin, inviting you all to be with us again next Monday night at this same time. Good night.
The selection, I'm in my glories from the production Merry-Go-Round of 1938. This is the Red Network of the National Broadcasting Company.
Marian would be off the show for 18 months due to illness. The show would, for a period of time, change its name to Fibber McGee and Company. As you heard there, Clark Dennis replacing Perry Como as the vocalist on the show. Perry would go back to barbering for a period of time until he got his own show on CBS, and lo and behold, he would become a big recording star. Who would have thought it? Tomorrow on Classic Radio Theater, and let's talk about what we have coming up. Fibber McGee, we have Lum and Abner tomorrow, the Aldrich family, Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy with their guest Maurice Evans, and a salute to Jack Benny's 20th year in radio back in 1951. Coming up on Sunday, Arch Obler's Lights Out, Mr. Keen, Tracer of Lost Persons, Mr. and Mrs. North, and an episode of Suspense entitled The Frightened City, and that stars a gentleman who we know from Nightbeat as Randy Stone. Frank Lovejoy will star in that episode. Monday, comedy with Milton Berle, also our Sam Shubble will be with us. Of course, you know, it's a typical Sam Shubble play of Abbott and Costello. A half hour with Fred Allen and the CBS Radio Workshop, Report on the Winds, wonderful satire. And then on Tuesday, Escape, the second part of Earth Abides, and I hope you've gotten a copy of the book. If you haven't, we do have a link up on our page where you can get a copy of Earth Abides. It is a reasonable price, and it'll take you so much deeper. If you find the show compelling, I think you'll enjoy it. Also, a copy of we'll have The Whistler, the lineup, and an episode of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Mandel Kramer. That's going to be coming up on Tuesday's show. What do we got on Wednesday? We have Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey from 1960. We'll also have an episode of Suspense, The Man Who Murders People, both those from 1960. Another episode of Jeff Regan, Investigator, a show from Armed Forces Radio that did not air in the U.S., Macabre. And I think you will find it interesting, The Final Resting Place. And then more coming up. We have Dr. Christian, Gunsmoke, Dark Fantasy, The Green Hornet, My Friend Irma, some more Jack Benny, Amos and Andy, and let's see, what is it? The Great Gildersleeve, more. So keep it right here. Pick up our podcasts every day. You can do that. And support us at classicradio.stream. Coming up next, Claudia.
Civil defense is common sense. This is Joni James. After nuclear attack, while radioactive fallout will be a potential threat to every living thing. You can't hear or smell or taste fallout. Often you can't see it, so you must take shelter and stay there until told it's safe to leave.
Now let's head out to the farm and see what's going on with Claudia and David. This episode of Claudia, 76 years ago, November 8th, 1948.
Your Coca-Cola bottler presents Claudia, based on the famous play and novels by Rose Franken. Brought to you transcribed Monday through Friday by your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. Relax, and while you're listening, refresh yourself. Have a Coke. And now, Claudia.
Oh, it's so beautiful out walking at night, isn't it, David?
It's a nice night.
It's a brilliant idea of yours to take this walk. Now I'm so sleepy I'll go right to sleep.
The air's pretty cold. I should think you'd feel all fresh and awake.
I do now, but once I get into the warm house, my eyes will close like Venetian blinds. I'll get as sleepy as a kitten.
You draw a very pretty picture of yourself.
Look at our house, David. If you were a stranger walking through the woods, wouldn't that house lure you? Like a castle in a fairy tale.
If I were cold and hungry and lost, it would look like heaven. With a mortgage.
Well, I'm not cold, and I'm not hungry, and I'm not lost, and it looks like heaven to me. Oh, darling, what a wonderful night. We'll dream such wonderful dreams.
It's only about 10 o'clock.
Well, that's late for going to sleep early. Say, David, you hear something?
Huh? What'd you say?
I thought I heard our telephone ringing.
I think you're right. I think that's our telephone.
Hey, we better hurry.
Hey, careful how you run. You break your ankle. The ground's very rough.
Won't keep ringing forever, David. Hurry!
They'll call back if we miss them.
Oh, I couldn't bear it. Who do you suppose?
It's still ringing.
Say, you didn't lock the door, did you, David?
No, it's open.
Oh, please, don't stop ringing. Please be patient. Here we come.
It stopped ringing.
No, it hasn't. No, it's just catching his breath.
Do you want to get it?
Yeah, I'm right here.
It has stopped ringing.
David, don't keep saying that. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Stop shouting. That won't help. I said the phone has stopped ringing.
Couldn't have. Hello?
All right, go on saying hello if you like, but nobody hears you except me.
Oh, I can't bear it.
You just have to bear it.
David, it's awful. It's like having a ghost in the house and not knowing its name. Who do you suppose telephoned us at 10 o'clock at night?
Could be a number of people.
Don't say that. You're making it worse.
Oh, come on. Let's go to bed.
To bed when the telephone might ring any minute? I couldn't sleep a wink.
Well, what do you propose to do?
I propose to wait up for its ring.
Whoever it was who called might not call back.
Oh, they're bound to call back.
Yeah? What makes you so sure?
Well, when I call somebody up and they don't answer, I call again.
It just so happens it's not you on the other end.
Well, I'm not so different from other people. I figure the person is in the bathtub or in the kitchen or outside or something, so I call back.
Oh, you don't make any sense.
I understand what I'm saying perfectly.
I doubt it.
David, take off your coat. You'll catch cold standing around in it.
You'll catch cold standing around in yours,
I'm
too.
taking mine off, too. Who do you suppose it was?
Oh, do I have to go through this until the telephone rings again?
Aren't you curious at all?
No. I'm going to bed.
Then go to bed. I'll wait up alone.
And be awakened by you, I should say not. But I'm not going to wait for that phone to ring more than 10 minutes.
We won't have to.
You sure of that?
Positive? I wonder who it was.
No. Tell you what I'll do. I'll make a bargain with you. I'll wait 10 minutes, exactly 10 minutes. But I am not going to wonder who it was.
Julia, maybe.
Ah, not Julia.
Roger Killian?
No. He wouldn't call at 10 o'clock.
See, Mama's upstairs sleeping, so it can't be her. Thank goodness, or I'd be worried.
Claudia, there are 8 million people who live in New York City alone. 5,000 right here in Eastbrook. Now, you're not going to guess who it is out of all that number of
Honestly,
people.
you make it so complicated, David. I don't know all those people. I know only a very few. Oh, why doesn't it ring? I think I'll have a glass of milk.
This is sheer madness. We'll be up until tomorrow morning.
You are behaving just like a man.
How do you expect me to behave?
It rang. David, it rang, the telephone.
The power of suggestion.
Hello?
Hello, is this Eastbrook 276 ring
Who
3?
is it?
Yes, that's our number. David, it's long distance.
Probably New York.
One moment, please. San Francisco is calling.
San Francisco?
San Francisco? You sure you understood correctly?
Sure, I'm sure I understood correctly. She said San Francisco is calling. Who do we know in San Francisco?
We don't know anybody in San Francisco.
Must know somebody in San Francisco because that somebody is calling us up.
It's only 7 o'clock in San Francisco. There's a 3-hour time difference.
That makes it 10 o'clock here.
Brilliant.
Well, then how did you know it was 7 o'clock in San Francisco?
One moment, please.
We're waiting, operator.
Who is it?
Well, then it's not in the middle of the night for whoever's calling us. It's only 7.
I can't imagine who it is.
Well, we'll soon find out. Aren't you glad we're still not out walking?
I'm not so sure.
Eastbrook 276 ring 3.
Right here.
The party that is calling you does not answer.
Who is the party that's calling me, please?
I'll ring them again and call you back.
Please, operator, who was it?
Thank you for waiting.
Operator, don't hang up. She hung up, David.
Well, now what?
The party that was ringing us didn't answer.
How come?
How do I know how come? The operator didn't tell me how come. She doesn't know how come either. Such a business.
I am going to bed.
You can't go to bed just like that.
Who says I can't?
I says you can't. You have to wait up for me for the operator to call back.
She may not call back for hours.
That's what you said last time, and it was only 5 minutes. Sit down, David. Sit down. Smoke your pipe.
Oh.
Be patient.
I don't want to be patient. I don't want to smoke my pipe. I want to go to bed. I'm sleepy.
1 minute ago you weren't sleepy.
I'm sleepy now. Has the man got a right to be sleepy if he wants to be?
Who do you suppose it is?
You're starting to repeat yourself.
I've never known anybody from California, let alone from San Francisco. And why is it 3 hours sooner now than it is here later? Now.
Because the earth is round.
Well, I don't see that has anything to do with anything. Do you know anybody from San Francisco?
Not that I can think of offhand. I know a lot of people in New York that might be in San Francisco.
Really? You never told me who?
Anybody.
Well, who is anybody? You must have somebody in mind.
I had to open my mouth.
Anyway, why is it 3 hours sooner? I wish it were 7 o'clock here. We'd be eating dinner. That strawberry shortcake was delicious.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have the whole evening ahead.
I'd just as leave have it behind me. Wondering about a ringing telephone. There lies the way to madness.
Well, personally, when you consider it's San Francisco calling us, it's no wonder we're having a little trouble getting together. We're thousands of miles apart. We're not even at the same time. You can't expect to just snap your fingers and conquer distance and time, can you?
You certainly can. The telephone is a miraculous invention.
I wonder what it's like talking to San Francisco.
Like talking to the next room.
When was the last time you talked to the next room? Did you have anything interesting to say?
You talk more nonsense.
Well, I didn't say I talked to the next room. You did. California, San Francisco.
I am sleepy.
David, please concentrate. Who do we know in San Francisco?
Well, Roger's wife telephoned from St. Louis the other day. Maybe she's in San Francisco now.
Could be. She's always going someplace. Could she have gotten there already from St. Louis?
That was almost a week ago.
Then she wouldn't be there still. She never stays any place a week.
Besides of which, why would she telephone us in the first place?
Or in the second place. David, maybe it's an order for you to design a building or something.
Oh, sure. Sight unseen.
Couldn't it be?
What?
Well, somebody who's heard what a wonderful architect you are and wants you to go out there and build something. They do a lot of building in San Francisco.
What makes you say that?
Oh, I'm always seeing pictures of houses. Luxurious homes with grapefruits.
I don't build luxurious homes with grapefruits. Might be amusing, but it's not my kind of architecture.
I know, darling, but maybe not everybody else knows that you have so many principles. San Francisco, I'm busting to know who it is.
Well, don't bust or you'll never find out.
I don't understand you at all.
Yeah, what's so odd about me?
You don't have any bump of curiosity whatsoever. You're so blasé.
I am older than you
Well,
are.
not that much older. Do you think we ought to wake up Mama?
Why on earth wake up Mama?
Well, maybe somebody she knows telephoning.
Well, wait and see who it is first.
Oh, then it'll take time to run upstairs and wake up Mama and take her downstairs. It really will cost money.
Well, now stop worrying about it. It's not a collect call.
Wouldn't it be a terrible trick to play on somebody? Collect call from the other part of the world.
Very funny, yes.
Maybe Mama has some kind of relative out in California I don't know about.
Unlikely. Well, I guess I might as well smoke my pipe and settle down for a good long wait. I realize there is no hope in budging you until that call comes through. Hand me the matches. I should have known this thing would happen sooner or later.
Well, at least it's not later than 10 o'clock. We have that much to be grateful for. Just look at that black instrument sitting there staring me right in the eye. It's a demon.
Careful, you'll be hypnotized.
Is there room on that chair for two?
There is not.
Good. Push over.
Claudia, my trousers were pressed just this afternoon.
Shut up. I'll put another crease in them.
Oh.
No, I'm not that heavy. Don't make such faces. Oh, this is cozy.
Well, the vigil. We are two oversized dopes. Sitting here waiting for the phone to ring when it should be asleep.
Such a nice walk. What a shame to waste it now on sitting around in the living room. Oh, well, San Francisco doesn't call every night.
Thank heavens for little favors.
No, it must be something terribly important. Maybe it's a matter of life and death.
Your imagination is running away with
Maybe
you.
because we weren't here when that phone rang the first time, maybe something terrible is going to happen to somebody or other.
Are you serious?
Maybe a whole mystery revolves on this one phone call. Maybe
you've been seeing too many bad movies lately.
Well, those things happen, don't they?
Not to us. We're just ordinary folks. Nothing like that ever happens to us.
Well, something happened to us tonight. Out of the clear blue, the telephone rang. I'm hearing ghosts.
Well, answer it, for heaven's sake, before it hangs up.
It's psychic. It heard me say it rang. Here I come. Hello?
Is this Eastbrook 276, ring 3?
Yes, it is. Please put San Francisco on. We're waiting.
Who is it?
Soon find out.
Eastbrook 276, ring 3. You are the wrong number.
What?
We're sorry to have disturbed you. You are the wrong number. Your line is clear.
Oh, no. No, that can't be.
Claudia, what's the matter? What's happened?
That is a rank injustice, David. It's absolutely prejudice. That's what it is.
Well, what is it, darling?
We're the wrong number.
What?
Nobody wanted us at all.
Oh, I might have known.
Sue the telephone company. That's what I'll do.
Well, that would be a great help.
Honestly, such a thing had to happen to me. Oh, David, I'm so disappointed.
Then come on upstairs. By tomorrow, you won't remember what you were disappointed about.
Yep, coming.
I'll turn out the lights and forget about the whole business.
Oh, I've forgotten about the whole business already. It's a lovely walk, wasn't it, darling?
Nice, brisk. As I said before, I am sleepy.
So am I. David, what do you suppose somebody was calling somebody else from San Francisco about?
This time I'll take it. What has God wrought?
When you find yourself entertaining an unexpected guest, you're mighty glad you remembered to put plenty of Coke on ice. For those frosty bottles of Coca-Cola, sparkling and refreshing and delicious, have a way of turning a simple get-together into an event. Ask for Coke when you shop today. It's nice to have a supply on hand.
Hey, Joe, hold on there a minute, would you?
Certainly, David. What's up?
Has that ever happened to you?
A wrong number?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm afraid it has. Well, it's just one of those, machine-age foibles.
Yeah, I am so sleepy. Well, I guess I'd better lock up and get to bed.
And a good night's sleep to you, David. You'll be glad you had it tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow's another day. It always is. But what else about tomorrow?
Come now, I don't have to tell you. Tomorrow, your household increases by 1.
Oh, the cow. That's right. She moves in tomorrow.
It's the big day.
Yeah, hallelujah. Get yourself some sleep, Joe.
I will. As I was about to say, every day, Monday through Friday, Claudia comes to you transcribed with the best wishes of your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. So listen again tomorrow at the same time. And now this is Joe King saying au revoir. And remember, whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you may be, when you think of refreshment, think of Coca-Cola. For Coca-Cola makes any pause the pause that refreshes. And ice-cold Coca-Cola is everywhere. These broadcasts are adapted for radio by Manya Starr, and the entire production is supervised and directed by William Brown Maloney.
76 years ago, November 8th, 1948, Claudia, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thank you for making us a part of your day. Coming up tomorrow, as we said, more comedy with Lum and Abner, the Aldrich family, Edgar and Charlie, and Jack Benny, and a salute to Jack Benny. Thanks for being with us on this Friday edition of Classic Radio Theater. I'm Wyatt Cox.